We are coming to you from the Goodyear Ballpark in Goodyear, Arizona, where this afternoon, Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, A.J. Pierzynski, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Dusty Baker's Cincinnati Reds. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson along with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you today's game between the Reds and the Sox. Sox coming in. They're hitting .278 on the spring. They've been really hitting the ball very well, but it doesn't make any difference how much you hit or how much your starters do. You got to worry about the bullpen.
You have to worry about the bullpen, and the bullpen was a big concern when spring training started. Now, the starting rotation is pretty much largely as built, but the bullpen, a little bit different. We've got some youth out there, some young guys making the ball club. The 25 men ostensibly was announced. And we've got some guys in Nate Jones that has made this ball club. He earned it. He's there. Hector Santiago is there. We've got some guys who throw the ball exceptionally well. And we have some veterans out there also. You got Crane, and you've got Thornton, and you've got Stewart. And you have a candidate for the closing role in Addison Reed. So there's some youth, there's some veterans, there's some guys who are thought to have a chance to be the closer. It hasn't been announced yet. We'll see what happens. I think we have a differing opinion. I'm thinking it's going to be Matt Thornton, and you're thinking that it could be
Addison Reed. But this afternoon, it'll be Jake Peavy on the bump. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Hi, everyone. Gail Fisher alongside Chris Bowden inviting you to join us for Sportsnet Central presented by AT CIN Uverse tonight at 6:30. Derrick Rose misses his 10th straight game as the Bulls take on the best in the West. We'll have highlights of their matchup with the Thunder.
Jonathan Taves has been cleared for contact, the final hurdle for the captain.
Welcome back to Goodyear Ballpark. It's a beautiful day, but a very windy day here, and the wind is blowing out to right center field. When that happens, usually in spring training, it makes for a high-scoring affair. So we'll see today with Jake Peavy against Matt Latos as they go head-to-head. As the White Sox come into this one at 12-17, the Reds 14-16-1. Now, in the opening, we talked about the pitching staff, both the starters and the relievers. Let's take a look at the everyday players, because these are the guys who will break camp, head to Chicago, and start this championship 2012 season. The catchers, AJ the incumbent, with Tyler Flowers backing him up. The infielders, Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Gordon Beckham, Alexei Ramirez, Brent Morrell, and Eduardo Escobar, who came into spring training with nothing guaranteed. He just plain took it away. He was hitting over 400 most of the spring, had a great spring, and was rewarded by making the ball club. The outfield, Dan Biciedo will start in left. Alejandro Diaz will start in center. Alex Rios will start in right. Then Brent Lillibridge, who really is miscast as an outfielder because he can play just about anywhere. And Kosuke Fukudome, who's in the game today. He's going to be able to spell Rios in right field. And maybe against some of the tougher right-handers, he's going to get a chance to play as Robin Ventura looks on. Looks at his ball club, is pretty happy with the fact that many of these teams have sustained devastating injuries over the spring. Ryan Madsen, the closer for the Reds, was lost for the season. By and large, the White Sox have been pretty healthy. And there's a look at John B. Dusty Baker, skipper of the Cincinnati Reds, as they take the field. And here is the BMO Harris White Sox lineup. Alejandro Diaz leads it off, having a pretty decent spring. Then Brent Morrell having a good spring. Adam Dunn starting to hit the ball out of the ballpark with consistency. Paul Konerko, Alexei Ramirez, AJ Przinsky, who's had a good spring. Dan Biciedo, who's struggled. Kosuke Fukudome and Gordon Beckham rounding it out. Here's the defense and how they're going to line up behind Matt Latos. Ludwig, Stubbs, and Bruce left to right, with Frazier, Cozart, Phillips, and Lutz in the infield. Mesoraco behind the plate, and hard-throwing Matt Latos on the hill. This young man has overwhelming stuff. Strained a calf muscle last time out, but hasn't had any difficulties with it. As you can see, right-hand hitters have done absolutely nothing with him. They got him from San Diego in a very big deal. And if everything goes right and he lives up to what they thought, this is going to be one of the dominating pitchers in the National League Central. So Dusty Baker looks on. He's got a ball club that a lot of people have picked to be in contention. Some of them picked them third, with St. Louis getting the nod, Milwaukee second, and the Reds third. But I think it's going to be a three-team race. I think any team can win it. This team has a whole lot of offense. And if their pitching staff comes through, notably their bullpen, especially losing their closer, they're going to have a very good year. So we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Final spring training game from Arizona. We will have one for you coming next Tuesday evening. That from Minute Maid Park down in Houston. But before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as Alejandro Diaz will lead it off. And the first pitch of the ball game. Fastball taken for a strike, and here at really a neat little facility. Goodyear Ballpark in Goodyear, Arizona. 345 down the lines, 380 in the gaps, and 410 straight away center. Another fastball, and the count, 0-2. Latos, a big man, 24 years old, 6'6", 225 pounds.
Latos throws a fastball, a good slider, and a changeup to go with it, and at times his fastball can just be overwhelming.
And another foul ball. Diaz comes in hitting at 262 on the spring with a homer and 7 knocked in.
He's going to give the Sox a lot of speed at the top, and a guy who can put the bat on the ball normally.
Well, last year he did a heck of a job for us.
We sure did.
329, 4 homers. And there's the little duck snort. He'll take it. So good speed aboard. He also had last year in limited time 12 stolen bases.
Alejandro's hands are still singing to him as he gets what looks to be a high breaking ball. Hits it off the end of the bat and just barely able to get it over Cozart's head. You're going to like their young shortstop, by the way, Zach Cozart. It's a chance to be one of the better young players in the league.
So here is Morel. Granted, 309 on the spring with a homer, and he's knocked in 6. Takes that fastball upstairs. Outfield bunching, playing straight away for Morel.
Tremendous speed in center field in Drew Stubbs. Not so in left with Ryan Ludwig.
Well, Stubbs last year, 40 stolen bases. And that has popped up and is going to stay in here, coming back. Mesoraco makes the play, and that's out number 1.
It's one of the things that all of the fielders are going to have to be aware of, is that wind that's blowing straight out to right center is going to bring all of those pop-ups and bring him back to the field of play. That wind gusting up to 30-35 miles an hour today.
So here's Adam hitting at 265 homers and 14 knocked in on the spring. Takes up high, ball 1. And we have no clue who the men in blue are.
No, we just know they're there. At least 3 of them are there. And so we're gonna be 1 short in the umpire crew today.
2-0 the count to Dunn. Sox will have a game tomorrow against Milwaukee. That's a 12 o'clock start here in Phoenix. Pull the string on him on 2-0.
Good change up by Latos. Is Dunn looking fastball all the way, as you would be. Well out in front of that one.
Just underneath that one. So the count evens at 2. Then after the game tomorrow, board our charter, head on down to Houston. A couple of exhibition games, as I mentioned, on Tuesday night. We'll have that one for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then Wednesday afternoon. Then after that, we go to Texas. We're on the 6th. The bell rings. Pretty good lead by Alejandro.
Looked to me like he was getting a walking lead, and Latos took a look at him and realized that you don't want to allow a good base stealer a walking lead. That makes it really tough on the catcher, though Mesoraco can really throw. He's going to be one of the better throwing catchers in the National League. They're a little skeptical as how much offense he can provide, but defensively, he's going to be a good one.
Well, he's only 23 years old. Last year in Louisville, he hit 289, 15 homers, and 71 knocked in. As he pulls the string on Adam, and that's out number 2. So he's got a chance. And right now, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Jim Angier, our director and the crew. We went on with Alexei. Steve's going with Diaza. And Jimmy Olsen and I, we're going to go with Brent Morel.
Nice of you to let me pick after the first hitter had already hit. I really appreciate that.
Anytime.
I'm gonna need that running start.
Anytime. Here's Paulie. There's the breaking ball. Checks it up and takes ball 1. Paulie hitting at 377 on the spring. Has yet to hit his first homer, and he's knocked in 5. And he's got the count 2-0.
Did it ever get to you at all if you were having a spring where you were, obviously you were a power hitter like Paulie? Did it ever get to you if you weren't hitting home runs in a spring, or did you just say, okay, it's a spring, I'll go get it?
I think I mentioned earlier that I always came in spring training in real good shape because I played winter ball. So I usually got on the board in a hurry.
But how much time was it between winter ball and the actual start of spring training in those days?
About maybe 5 weeks, 4
so
weeks.
You really didn't have a chance to fall out of a rhythm.
No. Plus I would, work out in the same. It was, as you know, it was an entirely different scenario and culture back in those days. There goes Diaza, and there's a shot. Slow up. Turn it on. And Ewing waving him around, so Paulie gets the count, takes advantage of it, and it's 1-0 good guys.
I was talking to the Hall of Famer, Marty Brenneman, who's been the Reds broadcaster seemingly forever. And I told him about the ability to hit a fastball of Paul Konerko. He got a high fastball, probably 96, 97, and he just turned it around easily, driving in the first run of the game in his 6th this spring.
Here's Alexei. Alexei hitting a 250 on the spring. He also is looking for his first homer. Yeah, in all my years in baseball, Paul is one of the best fastball hitters, and especially on crip counts.
Yeah, if he knows there's a chance it's coming,
right,
you got some big problems, and it doesn't matter where you throw it, up, down, in, or out.
I don't care how hard you throw on one-pitch pitchers.
It's a pretty good pitch, and Latos wanted it. Certainly Mesoraco wanted it, but they didn't get the benefit of the call.
All speed out in front. And the count 1-2. Well, our guys this morning in our park on the back field, they were hitting into a very stiff wind right dead in their face, and Alexei was just absolutely wearing it out.
Well, that might have brought the wind with them, except that they didn't bring it blowing in. They brought it blowing straight out.
Plus, you're right next to an airport, Goodyear Phoenix Airport. So nothing to stop it. Paulie at second, 2 down. And the 1-2 pitch. Yes, he did. So they will throw him out. But the RBI double by Paul Konerko knocks in Diaz after a half inning of play. It's our guys 1 and their guys coming to bat.
Now let's take a look at our BMO Harris Bank starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. It's going to be Phillips leading it off with Cozart hitting second. Joey Votto has had a bad spring hitting third with Bruce, Ludwig, Lutz, Stubbs, Todd Frazier, and Devin Mesoraco rounding it out. The defense, another lineup behind Jake Peavy. Viciedo, Diaz, and Fukudome left to right with Morel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. A.J. Pierzynski with the nod behind the plate, and Jake Peavy on the hill. There's a look at Jake Spring. If he doesn't keep the ball down today, those numbers will inflate, but it's still spring training. And he just wants to emerge unscathed, and he said right now it feels pretty good.
Switch hitting second baseman Brandon Phillips. Hitting at .309 on the spring. Takes ball one. Last year, Phillips, a .300 hitter, 18 homers and knocked in 82. Both these teams last year had identical records of 79 and 83. And now Brandon, who was a switch hitter, hitting right-handed, strictly right-handed all the way now, Stoney.
He's been a good one. I mean, he's one of the guys that helps make this infield. However, his name was mentioned in trades because Chase Utley might not come back anytime soon, and of course Ryan Howard isn't there. We're talking to Philadelphia about a trade for Phillips and Cole Hamels.
Well, one of the most prolific switch hitters in the history of the game of baseball is Mickey Mantle. And if Mickey had not promised his dad that he would always switch hit, he would have been nothing but a right-handed hitter.
Where did he have more power? Which side?
Both sides.
Well,
right-handed. He was a high ball hitter, right-handed, low ball hitter, left-handed. And he hit his longest home runs left-handed. He had a long one, obviously, off Chuck Stobbs, who was left-handed. They measured it at 560 feet.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was the one that was supposedly going up, hit the facade at Yankee
No, that
Stadium.
was off Bill Fisher, my roommate at Yankee Stadium. Eddie Lopez was a manager. He goes out there and he says, look, throw him nothing but fastballs up and in. Eddie Lopez walking back to the dugout. He doesn't have one foot in that dugout, and here comes a low slider.
How'd that work out?
He knocked a piece about this big off the facade of Yankee Stadium.
Not well.
Mickey said it's actually the hardest ball he ever hit. Cozart, there's the strike. So 2-1 to count.
He's going to be the everyday shortstop for this team, and they just love him.
Well, last year at Louisville, hit .310, 7 homers, and knocked in 32. So home plate jumping around on the Jake Meister.
There's never a good day to walk people. This is a very bad day to walk people because of the left-handed thunder and the wind blowing toward right field.
High pop up right side. Koske makes the catch. So here's Joey Votto. Joey last year a .309 hitter with 29 homers and 103 knocked in. Oh, in the spring though, looking for his first homer, hitting at .234, no homers and 4 RBIs.
Former National League MVP and a guy that can just flat out hit. I don't think he's too concerned about a slow spring.
Outfield, they're spread out straight up. Chops that one foul. 1-0 Sox here in the bottom of the first if you're just joining us. And yet another gorgeous day here in Arizona. There he goes.
Normally Jake gets rid of the ball pretty quickly. Brendan Phillips with a good jump. And then a ball right down the middle. AJ cannot find the hand.
One and two the count to Votto. Ball hit hard. And it's going to fall in front. Not a good play. Not a good play at all. Votto just waltzes into second base.
Now once you've missed the ball, just get the ball in, keep the double play in order with only one out. A sinking line drive. Vicieta goes back on it, then comes in on it, and then chooses the wrong place to throw it.
And he just lobbed it in.
Yeah, I think Robin is going to remind him of that.
Here's Jay Bruce. Bruce hitting at .353 with a homer, 10 RBIs on the spring. Good rip by Bruce. Jay, 25 years old last year, hit .256, but he had 32 homers and drove in 97.
He's got one of the most beautiful swings you've ever seen. But he felt, and a lot of other people felt last year, he was a little out of shape. So he's lost 15 pounds. And he's another of those guys who can really hit.
Watch out. A 1-2 the count. Well, baseball has a way of rationalizing things. And in that respect, I'm talking about if a guy is having a bad year, that he's either going to. He gone. 2 down. Usually they'll say, oh, you got to lose some weight.
He's having a good year. You're just the right weight.
Just exactly the right weight.
This is a hanging slider. It actually was a backup slider. Jake will take it as Bruce swings through it. That was Rick Russell, Cubs in '77. He was always the same weight, but he won 20 games in '77. And all the other times, they told him they thought he should lose some weight. When he won 20 games, he was just the right weight.
That's it. The baseball's funny like that. There's a quick slider to Ryan Ludwig, 33-year-old veteran. Remember, Gil Hodges telling Frank Howard after the season one year, I want you coming in at 275, and for every pound you come in over 275, I'm going to fine you $100. And that was a lot. That was a big fine back in those days. That was in the 60s. Well, Frank, who had finished up the season at 303, came in at 275 and could not swing the bat. He was so weak.
And they told him, don't worry, bulk up, big boy.
But we cannot get that one, and the count 0-2. Finally, Frank, after striking out about 8 out of 10 times in 2 games, decided he had enough of that diet. And I went with him. He said, come on, Rumi, we're going to go out and we're going to eat. High and wide. Jake a little upset. Did he miss that location that bad? He gone. So he pitches out of it. They threaten, can't score after one. Is still 1-0 Sox. And a reminder, tickets for White Sox home games are on sale right now. Tickets start at just $7 per seat, and the 2012 schedule is full of great matchups, promotional nights, and games featuring post-game fireworks. So purchase your tickets today by visiting WhiteSox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. 1-0 Sox here in the top of the second inning. It'll be Pierzynski, Viciedo, and Fukudomi. AJ comes in hitting at 250 on the spring, but he has 4 homers and he's knocked in 11 last year, finishing up strong. Finished up at 287. Takes first pitch, strike. Very quickly to count 0-2. And there's a base hit. AJ gonna just make a turn.
That looked like a changeup, and for whatever reason, Mesoraco had a high target. That's something you really want on an off-speed pitch. As AJ hooks it into the corner, but Bruce gets to it very quickly. He's got a good and very accurate arm, so you're not going to run on him too often.
So here's the tank. Takes first pitch, strike. Tank at 180 on the spring, having a tough time offensively. And with that shift to left field, tough time defensively. Breaking ball and the count 0-2. This ball just gets away. So AJ will mosey on down to second base. But as we've talked about all spring long, Viciedo has a track record of being a late starter. A slow starter. First year at Birmingham, started off very, very bad for a month and a half, 2 months, then came on like gangbusters. The same thing in his first year in Charlotte, and then last year in his second year in Charlotte, same thing. Well, if you're sitting at home saying, well, he didn't try to get him over, with 2 strikes, you just want to make contact.
No, you can't. The game plan goes out the window with 2 strikes. You want to make sure you keep the at-bat alive. Up until 2 strikes, you're going to try to get him over, but that is not. If a hitter tries to do that, most likely he's going to strike out.
Especially when you're struggling like he is.
Yes, and he is struggling.
So here's Fukudomi. Koski at 208 on the spring. And there's the base hit. So AJ now is going to be held as Stubbs gets there quickly, gets it back in.
Domi gets a first ball fastball and takes it right back up the middle. Almost takes the umpire with it as he's able to duck under it. That's good defense. You hit the cutoff man. You keep the double play in order.
Well, last year Stubbs, actually it was 2 years ago, was one of the best looking players we saw in spring training.
I remember he just he kind of terrorized the Cactus League that year. Whew.
First pitch strike to Beckham. Gordon hitting at 271 on the spring with a homer, and he's knocked in 6. That'll get the job done. As there's a nice catch by Ludwig, but AJ will score, and it's 2-0 on the shot off the bat of Beckham.
Gordon hits this ball awfully hard, but unfortunately hits it where Ludwig could go over and make a pretty good catch.
Here's Diaza. He singled and scored last inning.
Dusty Baker is going to use somewhat of a platoon system, although they're both right-hand hitters, in left field. Brian Ludwig is going to be the guy that's going to give him power, and Chris Heisey, who has some power of his own, is another guy who's going to give him some speed, and they'll share the duties in left. Heisey last year hit 18 home runs, so he's a guy that can steal a base and hit the ball out of the park.
Change up, and the count 0-2. Yeah, Heisey, 18 homers, 50 RBIs, and just 279 at bats.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player, but they want to give Ludwig his opportunity because he's got a bigger upside just in the power department.
Good breaking ball. But the Sox put one more on the board, and after an inning and a half lead it 2-0. And a reminder, Friday, White Sox opening day is on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in as Robin Ventura leads our squad into battle against the Rangers in Texas. Coverage begins at noon with an expanded edition of White Sox pregame live. White Sox Rangers Friday at noon, only on your home for White Sox baseball. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Donald Lutz hitting at .304 on the spring with a couple of homers and 8 knocked in.
He's only got A-ball experience, and he's going to be a pretty good hitter. He's very strong. Daytona hit 20 home runs last year. He's from their farm system, getting an opportunity today, but needs a little more seasoning before they can consider him. And of course, if your position is only first base, they got a guy there in Joey Votto who's going to be around a while.
Goes down and gets that one and just rips it. And he's on his way for a stand-up double. He's 23 years old.
You can see where Cincinnati really likes Lutz. He stays right with that one. Doesn't overswing. Takes it into the gap. He's knocking at the door at 240, so he might have to address that. But right now, a nice swing.
If he keeps hitting, they will not address it.
It won't be addressed.
No. Stubbs, there's a bunt. It's a good one. He can run, but he can't outrun the baseball. So the sacrifice. 5-3.
Well, you might ask why in spring training you take the bat out of a guy's hand. And what Dusty is trying to do, knowing that Stubbs is going to probably do this a lot during the course of the season, is get him used to getting the bunt down. And he's always been a pretty good bunter.
With his speed, he should put some bunts down. Here's Todd Frazier. Slider low and away.
Frazier's the insurance policy against anything happening to Scott Rowland. Now, Rowland's had a terrific spring, and he's been entirely healthy after shoulder surgery last year. But Todd Frazier's a guy that they think a whole lot of.
Good pitch. Frazier last year, limited time, hit .232, 6 homers, knocked in 15, and 112 at bats. In Louisville, hit 15 homers, drove in 46. Two and one to count. There's a Rocco on deck. Couple of close pitches, didn't get them.
This is a pretty good eye by a youngster, because if you swing at that pitch, you're either going to crack your bat or you're going to tap it to third base.
Slider. Three and two with one out. And Lutz at third. Off the glove of Morel. They had him at third in a pickle if he comes up with it. So it's a 2-1 ball game.
They're going to give Frazier a base hit and his 15th RBI of the spring. Jake took a little something off this one. And I would say during the course of the season, Morel is going to make that play. But infield and grass here, very fast in Arizona. They haven't had any rain, so it's rock hard in that infield.
Mesoraco. Devin Mesoraco. Hitting at .237 on the spring with no homers, and he's knocked in 3.
Rocco's going to split that position with Ryan Hannigan, and although they're both right-hand hitters, they're both going to get a lot of play.
That ball into the gap. And nobody's going to get it. So Frazier's being waved around. Here's the throw to third. And this game is tied at 2.
As Rocco gets a fastball, Jake does not want it inside. AJ set up away. And with that ball up and on the inner portion, he inside outs it. Takes it to right center where the wind is blowing. No chance at all for Diaza, as that ball, once it got up in the wind, just rocketed out to right center.
So a 2-2 tie. Totals on the board identical at 2-4-0, and infield in for Brandon Phillips, who walked to lead off last inning. And the count 0-2. So Jake well on top, the Phillips. Now field shading to the right. That wind still blowing out very, very briskly to right.
Throws a changeup. Benefit of the call goes to Phillips. Now AJ, if he calls a slider, and that would seem to be the wipeout pitch for Jake, best be aware of it going in the dirt and having to block it.
Yes, he did.
Well, the second appeal got him. I think he went further around on the first one than he did on the second one, but AJ calling for a second appeal. And it turns into a strikeout on a good slider.
Well, I think the umpire, first base umpire, wanted to ring him up on the first one, and the home plate umpire gave him the left hand rather than the right. If he gives him the right hand, then call what you want. But if he gives him the left, he usually wants you to call him no swing. So here's Cozart. He popped up to Fukudomi in right field. The old ejector button. Jake throwing a lot of breaking pitches.
Well, that means his arm is feeling pretty good.
Well, this is the first time he's been healthy since he's been in a White Sox uniform. There's a fastball. And 3-1. Pops him up. Diazza shading from the sun. Makes the catch. That'll retire the side, but they come up with a pair. And we have completed 2, tied at 2. You can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the 2012 season. You can purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing by upgrading to a pregame patio party, a diamond suite, or one of our other great party areas. And, of course, that is the domain of the Bertucci boys. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to book your group outing today. Morrell, Dunn, and Konerko here in the top of the 3rd inning, and the game tied at 2. Off the end of the bat.
Last time up, Adam was mystified by the straight change. And at the time, Latos couldn't get a fastball over, but he did change speeds very well. Turned into a strikeout.
Fastball upstairs. Two-0 pitch.
Well, let's see if Robin decides to give him the 3-0 green light. See if the big man can lose it.
And there's ball 4. First walk issued by the 6'6" right-hander. So here's Pauly. He just turned a big like those fastball around for that RBI double in the first inning. Dale Jarrett pinch running. There's strike one.
That's a big helmet.
And a big number. Breaking ball. Pretty good pitch to hit, and Pauly fouls it away.
Pretty much of a hanging slider. But fortunately for Latos, it hung high and away, not middle in.
Just underneath the tag.
We told you Mesoraco could throw. He blocks this ball nicely and almost gets it there in time, as Jarrett just gets back under the tag.
The 1-2 pitch to Konerko. Inside out, got in on him. Well, Lutz got there in time and just could not make the play.
Tough play with your back to the infield, especially with the wind blowing as it is, and he didn't have a chance to turn around, so that's what happens.
If you're just tuning in and did not hear, Sox are down to their 25 players. Prior to yesterday's game, Sox made the final 6 roster moves. Option Dylan Axelrod to Charlotte. Reassigned right-handed pitcher Brian Bruni. Hector Jimenez, Ray Olmedo, Layson Septimo, and Eric Stoltz. Those guys went to the minor league camp. We mentioned the final game here in Arizona tomorrow. That'll be Gavin Floyd against Zach Greinke. And on Tuesday, that'll be our final television game from spring training. It'll be Chris Sale against Bud Norris against the Astros. Wednesday, Philip Umber against J.A. Happ. Then on Thursday, an off day. And then Friday, Johnny Danks will be on the bump in Arlington.
I'm sure we'll see the entire Danks clan down there.
Oh, yeah. Papa Danks, Mama Danks, and Sister Danks.
And hopefully a good start to what should be a very good season for John. Threw the ball very well yesterday. If that's any indication, he's ready to go.
Back to the middle. Hard base hit. So Pauly 2 for 2. What new?
Latos is finding out something that American League pitchers have known for a while. You can throw that fastball down, you can throw it up, you can throw it in, or you can throw it out. But odds are you're not going to throw it by him. And he's tried it twice, and it hasn't worked yet.
So 1 out, 2 on, and here's Alexei, who struck out. Check swing. With that walk to done this inning. Jared now pinch running for him. He's at second base. Adam is leading the Cactus League in walks. There's not a good swing by Alexei. Come on. 14 walks he has this spring.
Pretty good, assuming he winds up the same amount of walks as runs batted in, because normally he walks around 100 times.
Mesoraco keeps it in front of him. Pick him up, Alexei. 2 on, 1 out, and the 1-2 pitch. Garrett easily into third as he took off immediately when that ball was in the dirt.
Yeah, that was a good read because he realized that Mesoraco was not going to be able to stop it. And as it bounded away, he took off fast enough where there was no play. Good stop by Mesoraco, but that was all he could do.
Matos with a 2-2. Jazz did get a piece of that slider. Paulie with that second base hit. He is now 14 for 23 his last 7 games.
That's pretty good.
And another foul. Pokes that little breaking ball into right field. Jay Bruce is there. And no advance. 2 down. So it's up to AJ. AJ singled and scored last inning. AJ is now 8 for his last 19. Back to the middle, backhanded. Now the throw to first. Nice play by Phillips, and that'll retire the side. So the threaten can't score after 2.5. Tied at 2. Bottom of the third inning in a 2-2 tie, and joining us now is our new hitting coach, Jeff Manto. And Jeff, how do you feel about the way the offense has come around this spring?
I tell you what, I'm really satisfied with what's going on so far. Guys have been asking questions. They've been in that cage every day. They're having quality at bats. You know, some batting averages are higher than others, but I'm most satisfied with the quality of the at bats.
Well, of course, you being in this organization for the last 4 years, you were very well aware of the tough season that Adam Dunn had last year. But if you look at it in this spring, you would have never thought that had happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, the one thing we all did as a group, we assured Adam that, you know, he is a great hitter, and he will bounce back. I think that Adam came to camp with all that stuff behind him, and he accepted what happened last year and wanted to move forward and has done so. So he's been nothing but a pleasure, and, you know, he's in a good spot right now.
Well, tell us a little bit about Alex Rios.
Well, Alex also, one thing I learned when I came in is that he wanted to pull everything, and we got him convinced that there's a lot more hits out there to the right side of the field, and he's been trying like heck. He really has. He's bought into it. He's talked to Baines, he's talked to Robin, and he's getting some quality information, and that's all we ask.
Here's Jay Bruce with Votto at first, nobody out. Well, that drill that we were watching, that ball hit hard. Off the wall. Votto now will be held at third on the double. Peavy in trouble here. Runners at second, third, nobody out in this 2-2 tie. But that drill, as you and I were talking, that's the best that Alex has physically swung the bat since he's been in the White Sox uniform.
Well, that's good to hear. That drill is just designed to get some rhythm in your hands and find the hand slot. And it may look like a workout, but it's not. He does that drill quite well. He welcomed a lot of different things in the batting cage, which I appreciated. And I think it's going to help him in the long run. I really do.
And, of course, another guy that really had a tough season last year, Gordon Beckham, looks like he's a different hitter.
I tell you what, Robin and I got with him, and we talked about his bat path. When he came into spring training, he might have been a little steep, but still, you know, he was working hard. And Robin and I got with him, and he bought into just a simplistic way of hitting. And since then, about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, it's been nothing but positive feedback from him and from us.
Well, his attitude and his personality has changed from last season as well.
That's what a few hits do for you.
Yeah, that's right. That's
you start
exactly
playing better defense and everything else. But he really is. The one thing I have found out, he's definitely hard on himself, and hopefully he can. There will be some times where it may not work out, and he's not going to get a hit every night. But just as long as he knows that he has something to go to and a good bat path.
Jeff, you've got a left fielder that starts out pretty slowly, or has the last 3 years, and Viciedo really not hitting the ball like he can this spring. Is there anything as a hitting coach you can do with him to try to get him over that hump of actually starting a little more quickly?
Well, I would like to get him the reps, and he's got plenty of at-bats at this point, and like you said, he does start slow. It's only because some of these big guys, as you guys both know, need at-bats, and there's a rhythm to all the hitting, and he's learning a new position, and there's a lot of things that go into it. But I think that collectively we're pretty happy with where he's at. Obviously, we like to get more hits, and that's always nice. But I think when the bell does ring, he's going to be fine.
Well, AJ's been swinging the bat well.
I'll tell you what, as low maintenance as it comes. I don't think I've said 2 words to him all spring, and he's just, showing that he is a big league hitter and he's a quality player, and just a joy to be around.
Well, funny thing about it too is that he still to this day doesn't understand how good he could be.
I'll tell you what, everything he does from his every approach to hitting, he has it down. Whether it's a 2-0 pitch, whether it's a 3-1 pitch, whether he goes into an 0-2 count, he fights and battles the whole time. He never gives them a bat away, it seems, and it's not surprising that he's had the career that he's had.
Tyler Flowers has made some improvement as well.
Well, I think the one thing we did with him for the last 2 years, and there has to be some credit to Tim Laker in AAA, we really got him to get off the fastball a little bit more. His approach was just everything was hard, and every time he hit a ball hard, he wanted to hit it harder. But with that approach, he's just trying to soften up sometimes and make him aware of that. There is other pitches to hit besides a fastball.
Escobar's had a big spring.
I tell you what, again, he's bought into, he knows who he is. He's not trying to do too much. He knows he's not, we're not looking for him to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He plays within himself. His game awareness has gotten a whole lot better since from the minor leagues till to today. So I'm really satisfied where he's at.
And in certain situations, Fukudome is really dangerous.
I'll tell you what, I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I'm looking forward to seeing him start to drive the ball a little bit more. When you watch him in the cage and the batting practice and a lot of the bats he has had, he looks like he's a tick away from driving some balls.
Well, the attitude on the ball club is good. I'm sure that you, like our players, certainly our players, are ready to get this thing on the show. On the road?
Yeah, I tell you, we have, obviously it's all coming from Robin. He set the tone real early. Everybody's more positive, and we're just, following what we're asked to do as a group, and I think the players are buying into it and feeding off of us.
Well, Jeff, thanks for the time, buddy, and keep it going.
Thanks, guys.
Jeff Manto, our new hitting coach. Frazier got a decent breaking ball to hit right there. Fouls it back. 4-7-0 for the Reds. 2-5-0 for our Sox here in the bottom of the third inning.
With a normal guy running, that would have been 2 and out of the inning. But Bruce Stubbs is so quick that even on a tailor-made double play, with Beckham getting rid of the ball quickly, Stubbs was able to beat the play easily at first.
He gone. A little damage done. They put 2 more on the board and they lead it 4-2. And a reminder tomorrow, don't miss a minute of the action as Lowell Dang and the Bulls blast off against the Rockets at the United Center. Coverage begins at 6:30 with McDonald's Bulls pregame live. Bulls Rockets tomorrow night at 6:30 only on your home for Bulls basketball. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Viciedo, Fukudome, and Beckham here in the top of the 4th inning. Dang grounded out to third his first trip. Well, Steve, as you and I have talked for a long time now, toughest uniform job in baseball is a hitting coach.
Well, especially with teams who don't have that thunder up and down through the lineup, or teams that have a lot of, let's say, ping hitters or fast hitters. If you've got a big mix of power hitters and then base on ball guys and ping hitters, then it becomes really difficult.
There you got a good pitch to hit. Pops it up. Lutz makes a catch. Out number 1.
I think
the phrase he kept bringing back is, well, they bought into it. They bought into it. He bought into it. They bought into it. He bought into it.
Well, buying into it, I guess, every pitching coach has a different philosophy, and you You got 30 teams, you got 30 different hitting coaches. Some teams have 2 hitting coaches, but you have an overall hitting philosophy that you'll use. And buying into it, you sit with the player and you try to explain to him within the framework of his own ability how to get better. I mean, these guys all want to get better than they've been. Unless you're Albert Pujols, who's about as good as it gets, you want to get better. And so if you can convince him that what you're trying them to implement makes them better, then they will buy into it.
Well, it's tough. It's never been tougher, I should say. Let's put it that way. It's never been tougher than to get players to buy into something than it is today in this marketplace. Because when you get guys who have signed a big contract or are making big money, and all of a sudden it might be just a personal thing with the hitting coach that you might not like him because it's hard. He's got 13 guys he's got to take care of physically and psychologically. And I'll give you an example. We had a young hitter here a few years ago that Greg Walker went to him and had a meeting with him and sat him down and said, look, we want you to buy into what we're trying to tell you here, and I want you to think about it. Because the kid was rebelling a little bit. And he said, I want you to go home and think about it and tell me in the morning what you want to do. Well, the kid came back the next morning and told Walker, no, I'm going to do it my way.
Well, I mean, for a hitting coach.
2 weeks later, he's in AAA.
Yeah, for a hitting coach.
Now he's out of baseball.
There's not much you can do except, okay, do it your way, and if you fail, well, then you're going to do it your way at another level.
And you got to confront them because of the fact that you know that they're rebelling against what you're trying to tell them. They're letting it go in one ear and out the other. So here's Beckham, had a sacrifice fly. He just ripped a rocket into left field. And that scored AJ.
Well, whether you're a hitting coach or a pitching coach, it can't be one size fits all. You can't have one style, and that's the only thing that you teach. Because hitters are different, their stances are different, their power is different, their approach is usually different. Now, there's hitting fundamentals that probably don't change. But as far as the actual physical act of hitting, you can take a look at all of our 13 hitters, position players. They all have different, distinct styles of hitting.
Well, Cooperstown is filled with guys who, if you didn't know who they were, you'd say, that guy can't hit. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3 inning for Lantos, and he leads at 4-2. And join the White Sox for their home opener on Friday, April 13th against the Tigers at 1:10 p.m. All fans will receive a 2012 White Sox magnetic schedule presented by U.S. Cellular, the exclusive wireless provider of the White Sox. 4-2 Cincinnati here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mizraco tripled, knocked in a run. That was back in the 2nd.
About a 54-foot slider. Catchers don't particularly care to see those. but that one hopped over AJ's shoulder with no damage done.
Two and one, the count. This young man looks pretty good at the plate.
I think he's got a chance to be pretty good. They don't know if it'll be quite this soon, but they know that it's going to be there.
Well, as I mentioned last year, hit 290, 15 homers, 71 driven in Louisville. As he takes strike three, but he does not overstride, watches the ball. That's a good start.
Hector Santiago loosening up. Just one of the three youngsters who made the ball club. He had a great spring, and he has a pitch that you just don't see a whole lot of, and that's the screwball.
So here's Phillips. He has walked and struck out. He has 5 strikeouts. Oh, and 2. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
AJ wants it away. Jake gets it there. Just missing off the corner.
A little tardy on that one. Brandon, 18 homers and 82 knocked in last year to go along with 38 doubles, 2 triples, and 14 stolen bases. Softly hit. 2 down. So here's Cozart. Zach Cozart, the shortstop, has popped up to right and gone out to center. You know, getting back to the hitting coach and what a tough position that is. It's just human nature that almost every, I'll put it this way, I have never seen a hitting coach that didn't have some constants in his philosophy of hitting and what he tries to teach. It's not unlike a golf coach. Some golf coaches will teach a system. Now, that system is going to help some guys, it's going to kill others. It's just that simple. The same thing happens in baseball with a hitting coach. If he's teaching, for the most part, a basic system, then he's going to help some guys and he's going to hurt other guys. But I've never seen one who could adapt to 13 different guys. That's into left field. Come on, Tanks. Attaboy. Makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. Jake, for the first time, has a 1-2-3 out.
Time now for our Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible replay. And here in Goodyear, Arizona, they're famous for their small linebackers. Now, they do raise them young, and eventually he'll get enough beef on him to be able to bring down some of the bigger running backs. But right now, it's a bit of a problem. But anything is possible.
Top of the order here in the top of the 5th. So evidently you did not win the
No.
Mega Millions.
No, and not even a second place finish.
Well, I want to tell you what. I had an investment, total investment in that. Well, somebody's got to build a pot. I'm what you call a pot builder.
Total investment.
And a field filler. I had a total investment about a little over about $650.
You're talking about for the run of all of the picks.
Yeah.
And you got back
$14.
Well, that's a good investment. You get back 2-3% on all your investments.
Yeah, right now interest. That's in the left field. And Diaza is now 1 for 3 with a run scored. But the one thing about it, you can't win unless you play.
No, that's true. And look at the bright side. Although you only got $2 or $3 back, at least you got something back. Now, if you'd given that to Eris, you'd have got nothing back. So you got something back.
There you go. I never thought about that.
That's a glass half full philosophy.
But when you marry a Greek, you don't have the flexibility to think that way.
Flexibility.
Brent is 0 for 2. He fouled out to the catcher and he grounded out to short. Tyler Flowers on deck. Change up. He's made some mistakes with that changeup today and gotten away with it.
And he's also rolled a few breaking balls, but meanwhile he still has a 4-2 lead.
And it's meanwhile still spring training. Good check.
Well, he's going from a wonderful place to pitch, which is San Diego, to a very difficult place to pitch, which is a Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. So he is, for the most part, a high fastball pitcher. And that could cause some problems for him.
There's a rolling breaking ball. Jay Bruce is there. Two down. And if you're looking for a flexible ticket plan for the 2012 season, well, the White Sox Pick 7 and Pick 14 plans let you select the games you want, including great matchups like the BP Crosstown Cup Series, and plans start at just $89. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to order yours today. Here's Tyler. Turned it loose right there, just underneath it. Tyler hitting in Adam's spot. Adam 0 for 1 with a walk. Ate him up right there, softly hit. And that didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. We're halfway home. We trail by 2.
This color is
White Sox baseball is brought to you by Grinds Coffee Pouches, the healthy alternative to tobacco for professional baseball. Visit grinds.com for more information.
Got Hector Santiago coming into the game. Following up Jake Peavy, went 4 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, walked only 1, fanning 5. And on a tough day to pitch, not all that bad in this ballpark. Ray Olmedo checks in and takes over at third base. We have some other changes for you. Trace Thompson in center field. And we told you about Hector Santiago, who's got pretty good screwball, but also you got to be aware of that fastball. He throws a lot harder than you would think for a guy that throws a screwball. And look at those numbers in spring. It's no reason to doubt why he made the ball club, because he didn't have anything promised him when he came to spring training.
One of the best things there is strike 1, 2. Joey Votto, one of the best things that can happen to an organization is when you've got a general manager and you've got a manager who are not afraid to let young guys make a ball club. It like invigorates the whole organization.
There's no doubt if you're down there as a minor league player and you see some of the guys you played with, or maybe they were a step ahead of you, and you see them make the ball club, you realize that it can be done, and you'll be promoted if you do well.
And it gives you more incentive, more motivation.
Because there's a lot of other teams that instead of bringing up guys from their minor leagues, they stock their major league team with veteran players, use their minor leaguers to trade.
1 and 2. Votto, who is 2 for 2 today, a couple of singles and a run scored. Little tardy. Emergency swing right there.
Yeah, that was kind of a well, I think it's close enough, so I will take it out of Przinski's glove. Watch it again. This ball's almost by him, and then he figures, I better do something here.
Be gone.
With Sergio Santos gone, there was a closer derby. Matt Thornton, obviously the most experienced. Addison Reed, hard-throwing young right-hander with a world of talent. Hector Santiago, who burst on the scene and has done nothing but throw the ball well. And maybe the most surprising of all, Nate Jones, who made this ball club. And what an arm that young man had.
Well, there's something all 4 of them have in common. With Matt, big arm.
Yep.
Okay. With Addison Reed, big arm. With Santiago, big arm.
Yes.
With Nate Jones, big arm.
Well, unless you're a submariner or you have a trick pitch, there's no substitution for a guy to come out of the bullpen and can strike somebody out.
Willie Harris is gone.
We got some guys who can strike a lot of people out. You got some guys looking for anything but a fastball, and that's what they're getting. Plenty of fastballs. Now, you're probably going to see at least one screwball to Ludwig.
We were talking about that this morning, Paulie and AJ and myself, about why there's a good chance we will never see another Triple Crown winner.
It's the bullpensman?
Well, I don't ever recall playing a game in my life that I had to face 4 guys in one game, 4 different guys. In fact, I can't even remember facing 3 guys in one game in my life. Today, that's all changed. And usually especially in late innings of a ball game, you're facing some pretty good stuff coming out of that bullpen, or else they wouldn't have been out there in the first place. There's a nice, easy inning for Hector. And we'll go to the 6th, 4-2 Cincinnati. talking about why there's a good chance we might not ever see another Triple Crown winner. The last one was in 1967. That was Carl Yastrzemski. And even in that time frame, now there was one in 66 who was Frank Robinson. So we had back-to-back Triple Crown winners in 66 and 67. And nobody since then. And one of the reasons being the bullpens. The bullpen is a different animal today than it was back in those days. As here's Paulie, some changes for Cincinnati. We'll get to them when we get them.
Well, we showed you Paul Janisch, who was taking over at shortstop.
Paulie is 2 for 2 with an RBI. A ringing double and a hard hit single. And there's a hard hit foul ball for strike one.
And a very nice play by the ball boy. Or ball man. San Francisco, he would be the ball dude.
At least.
Yeah.
Back to the middle. So probably 3 for 3.
Probably going to pinch run for Paulie at this point. 3 hits is quite enough. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Pretty good day for Paul. Double, run batted in, a couple of singles. He doesn't mind seeing Latos on the mound.
And this should be. Nope, bobbled. But he's out a second on the transfer, so 1 out.
Looked like a tailor-made 2 until then. Looks like Miguel Cairo at second base. Usually noted for his good bat.
Escobar now running for Alexi. Here's AJ. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Four runs, 7 hits, no errors for their guys. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for our guys. We scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. They scored 2 in the second and 2 in the third.
A few more defensive changes as Willie Harris takes over in right field. And Chris Heisey now playing center field.
First and 30, AJ. Outfield spread out for AJ, slightly to the left. Bit of a gap out there in right center. High into right center field. Get up. Stretch. Stretch. It's off the top of the wall. So that windblown double will put Escobar at third.
That one got up in the jet stream. Looked to be just a routine fly ball, but with the wind blowing as it is today, there's no such thing as a routine fly ball to right center field. And that just missed getting out of the ballpark. There you look at why that's a double and not a normal fly out to right center. as AJ's day is done. Andrew Douglas takes over at second base.
Brian Price has gone out, had his chit-chat with Latos.
The bullpen for the first time for Cincinnati. Busy.
And here's Viciedo. He's grounded to third and popped up to first. Slider off the end of the bat. Next time we will see you will be Tuesday night from Minute Maid Park. First of those final two exhibition games of spring training. Checks it up, and the count evens at 1. That's foul. Coming back a little bit. Yes, it's a fair ball. You can put it on the board. Yes. That wind got a hold of it and brought it right back into fair territory for the 3-run homer. Sox lead it 5-4.
That same wind blowing out to right center field took that ball that was hooking foul, pushed it back inside the line, and the first spring home run for Viciedo. He caught it off the end of the bat. And come on, wind. That's all it took. Long gone.
And here's Fukudome. You see Lotto standing in front of home plate.
Yep.
He's just smiling.
Made a good pitch.
What can you do?
Made a good pitch, fooled the guy, got him to hit the ball off the end of the bat, and meanwhile he's down.
Fukudome is 1 for 2. Sharp single back to the middle in the second inning. Good rip at that one. Chopper to Hopper. Giannis right over the top. 2 down. And here comes Dusty. So he's going to tell Latos, hey, don't worry about it, buddy. Nothing you can do. You made a couple of good pitches. Wind got you. So he'll depart, and we'll be back.
Nick Christiani is coming in the game. He inherits nobody on the bases. As Latos goes 5 2/3, gives up 5 runs on 8 hits, walked 1, fanned 4. Actually threw a little bit better than those numbers would indicate, but it is tough to pitch here in the springtime. So Christiani comes into this trailing by a run, and the first man he'll look at is Gordon Beckham.
Gordon this afternoon is 0 for 1. Line shot into left center field. It was caught, but it was a sacrifice fly, scoring Pierzynski back in the second inning. Takes ball 1. Breaking ball misses. 2-0. Gordon came in hitting at .271 on the spring with a homer. He now has 7 RBIs. And that's into right field. Willie Harris backs up now on the track. And that'll retire the side. 3-run homer by Diane Viciedo. The tank got him. And Sox lead at 5-4.
We've got some changes heading into the bottom of the 6th inning as the Sox lead this one 5-4. They've out hit the Reds 8-7. Hector Jimenez comes in behind the plate. Connor Jackson has taken over at first base. Eduardo Escobar, who made the ball club, takes over at shortstop. And Addison Reed comes on after a very impressive 5th inning by Hector Santiago. Struck out 2 in a 1-2-3 inning. And now Reed comes in to protect a 1-run lead.
And some of you may not have seen that Connor Jackson was signed by the Sox. He was formerly a first-round draft choice of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Steve, he had something that you're well versed in.
Yeah, he had valley fever. Had such a promising career, and that valley fever really made it difficult for him. He's still trying to battle his way back. He had the job at first base. Now Paul Goldschmidt has that job with the Diamondbacks. And Connor Jackson has made the rounds since then, winding up here in a Sox uniform.
Here's Wilson Valdez. One hopper. Nice pick. One out.
Sure helps to have quick hands when you're on the mound, and it sure helps when the ball is hit to the glove side. Both of those combined to be an easy out.
Here's Chris Heisey. Yeah, Connor Jackson, I believe, is a lifetime 271 hitter.
Well, he had all kinds of power. And unfortunately,
just what
just
is it? You
away.
had valley fever. You had your pretty good case of it too. It comes in different stages and cases.
Right. It took me a while to probably about a year to start feeling pretty good again. Of course, I didn't have to go and play. It was after my career, but I remember losing 40 pounds, and it was no day at the beach.
40?
Lost 40. Turned into just something that it was the first time in my life I can remember not wanting to eat anything. Now, I wish at times that could be the case now, but at that point you had to force yourself to eat.
Well, I remember calling you when you had it, and you sounded like death warmed over.
I felt worse than that.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty bad, and it happens down here. And there's actually a new form of it that they've found down here. Only 19 cases in this country, 17 in Arizona, and it comes in your stomach and intestinal tract and forms lesions. And it's something that they're very concerned about because it's, say, mold spores that affect the lungs, but now it's kind of different. It's mutated.
Outside. 2 out. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Big hack at that breaking ball.
A good hard slider by Reed, who's got a dandy.
Vidal, the hitter, making his first plate appearance. Todd Frazier was 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Into center field. Face Thompson now giving a little room, makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. Nice. 1-2-3 inning for Addison Reed. Season tickets for our new season are available right now. Purchase a full season plan or choose from 2 great split season plans and gain access to the best seats at the best price with the most benefits. Plans start just below $400 and can be purchased by visiting whitesox.com or calling 312-674-1000.
Got some more changes as Bill Bray comes into the game, and that's what he's done this spring. You can see left-handers, not so much. At the second half of what's going to be a catching platoon as Ryan Hannigan comes into the game to form a new battery.
So Trace Thompson will lead it off. Diaz was 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored today. First pitch strike. Trace, good looking young player.
He's got a very good chance to play in the major leagues. Here's David Vidal, who came in as a pinch hitter. Now he's at third base defensively.
Gets that pitch in on him. Popped up to Willie Harris. Yeah, Trace just 21 years old. Last year hit 24 homers and knocked in 87.
Wilson Valdez, who came in also to pinch hit, now stays in the game at first base.
Here's Ray Olmedo. And the 2-0 pitch. That's fair. Right down the line. So he's going to give it a go. Here's the throw. No. Off the mark.
Olmedo actually breaks his bat on this one as Bray tries to get the ball inside. Can't get it in quite far enough. He rifles it by Vidal. And then off to the races.
So here's Tyler. Flowers has been to the plate one time, grounded out to short. That ball hit hard into left field. Get up. No, one hops the fence. So here comes Olmedo. He'll score on the double by Tyler Flowers, and it's a 6-4 Sox lead.
That ball was hit too hard to go out of the ballpark. It was hit with overspin. It went out almost as a knuckleball and just
nosed over.
It was a rocket. Had he got under it just a touch, it would have hit the scoreboard. But turns into a sinking line drive and a run batted in for Tyler Flowers.
So here's Jackson. Connor hitting in Paulie's spot. Paulie, if you're just joining us, was 3 for 3 today with a hard double, hard single, and then a medium soft single. I remember when I first saw him when he had signed. Boy, he was a good-looking young player. Well, you're very seldom going to see a bad-looking young first-round draft pick.
Yeah, at the time, Mike Rizzo, who's now the GM of the Washington Nationals, He had a succession of great draft picks, Tanner Jackson being one of them. He took Justin Upton, took Stephen Drew. They were all first rounders. Had Brandon Webb in the 8th round. That turned out pretty well.
There's a strike. And the count 2-2. Escobar on deck. This full. And there's ball 4. And a reminder, join the White Sox at US Cellular Field Saturday, April 14th against the Tigers at 3:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox knit bomber hat. Purchase your tickets today by calling 866 Sox Game. That's what Eduardo is hitting, 373, homer, 6 RBIs, and he just flat won the job. And there's a base hit. So they're going to hold Tyler. He had to hold up to see the ball was not going to be caught. And that'll load him up. We mentioned Escobar's got a lot of Ozzie in him as a player. Also a lot of Orlando Cabrera.
Well, he's shown us he can hit from both sides of the plate. And he certainly plays a good enough infield, regardless of where you put him, and he can play third, short, and second. For a utility man, that's invaluable.
Little conference at the mound now as Jimenez will be the hitter. Hector Jimenez, the catcher.
Brian Price goes out there. As Bray has had all kinds of problems with right-hand hitters. Now, he is a situational lefties, but you've got to get the occasional righty out, and he's had his problems this inning. Gallagher loosening up in the bullpen.
Sacks packed with Sox. 6-10-0 for us, 4-7-0 for them. Watch it. Stay back. Stay back. Lillibridge on deck. Nice and easy, Hector. Take him right back through the middle. Knock him off the mound. 1-2. With all this wind that has been blowing today, only one home run in the ball game. If you're just tuning in, that was a 3-run homer by Viciedo last inning. It was foul, and the wind brought it back into fair.
It was foul most of the way.
Yeah,
but it was fair when it counted.
There's a chopper. The only play is going to be to first base. So Flowers scores, and it's a 7-4 lead. So here's Brent. And there are his numbers, 328. Big rip. Jared Mitchell on deck. One and one to count to our all-purpose player.
Those numbers last year, 13 home runs in relatively few at-bats.
And a few of those 13 were big ones.
He had just a terrific year all the way around. He batted 186 times with 13 home runs. That's a big year penciled out over a full season.
Count hangs at a ball and 2 strikes to Lillibridge.
Nice of Mike Leary to join us here at the ballpark today.
Well, he's a seasonal producer.
We don't get a chance to see him too much.
Seasonal. When it's warm, he will join us. There's a little looper for a base hit. That a boy, Brent. 2 more will cross the plate, and it's 9-4.
That 7th spot in the batting order, 5 runs batted in. As Bray gets the ball up, the right-handers who have tormented him this spring, especially this inning, continue to torment him, and that's going to drive him from the mound.
So Dusty will wait until the new pitcher gets there. Ray departs, and we'll be back. And you can subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and get over 150 select spring training games. Of course, spring training is almost over. But you can also get every regular season game live or on demand on your favorite devices. So visit WhiteSox.com for details.
Sean Gallagher comes into the game. Originally with the Cubs. 6 innings, 4 hits. Right-handers have done absolutely nothing with him. Does not have an ERA, and this is his 4th spring appearance. In a big 7th inning, 4 runs so far. 7 scored the last 2. And Jared Mitchell with his first at bat of the day.
He was our first round pick in the 09 draft. And of course, that terrible injury last year did not play at all. 23 years old, out of New Iberia, Louisiana. There's a shot right back through the middle.
But Jared doesn't wait around, likes what he sees. First ball fastball, drills it by Gallagher. So a rude introduction into this game for Sean Gallagher.
Well, Jared attended LSU. He had 327, 11 homers, 50 RBIs in 09, stole 35 bases, and helping the Tigers win their 6th NCAA title.
They've had some program down there.
Great program. I'll tell you, the school right now is probably got the #1 sports program overall of any college in the country is Baylor.
And that includes all the female teams.
Sure. I'm talking about the overall sports program.
They're really good.
In everything.
In everything is right. Morrison, who came into the game defensively at second, now getting his first at bat. As the Sox put a little daylight between themselves and the Dusties.
And there's a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. It's going to score a pair. Gilchrist scores. As now here's the throw to third. Safe on the triple by Morrison. And it is 11-4.
Very lively ballpark. That one splits the gap, goes all the way to the wall. And Bill Bray is not going to like what his ERA looks like after this performance.
And here's a man who started this inning off, Trace Thompson, with a fly ball to right. Strike on the corner. Yeah, Jared, who had that terrible ankle injury, was watching him run, and he looks like he is 100%.
He could fly before the injury.
Well, he was voted the best athlete and fastest runner among draft eligible college players in 09. As that will do it, but some damage is done. A big crooked number, a 6 spot goes up on the board. 7th inning stretch, we lead it by 7. There it is, our upcoming schedule. Next time we will be with you will be Tuesday. First of those 2 exhibition games to end spring training for our Sox. And an off day on Thursday. Friday, ding, ding. Johnny Dykes on the bump against the Texas Rangers. Then we go to Cleveland for 3, off day on the 12th, and come home with the Tigers 13th, 14th, and 15th. Matt Thornton on the bump.
I think we're going to get a chance on the 3rd day, that Sunday night game, assuming that the weatherman cooperates, to see Yu Darvish.
I think they've changed that.
Is he not going to pitch?
He's going to be pitching in their 4th game, which I was anxious to see him.
Well, the way he's pitching this spring, maybe it's better we don't see him.
Oh, you like to play against those good guys.
I do.
That's the fun of it.
I like to hit against all of them. I hit a robust 100 against some of the best around.
I remember teeing off one day after I'd retired. Teeing off, and I've been playing pretty good. So Nicholas and I are playing down at Lagos in Miami. And I was feeling my oats a little bit, and I said, Jack, I said, I'm going to kick your behind today. He looked at me and smiled, and he said, well, you just hold that thought, because it won't be there long. So Hannigan walks. And Miguel Cairo will be the hitter. Breaking ball. And the count 1-0. Eleven runs on 13 hits for our guys, 4 runs on 7 hits for their guys.
And if you're just joining us, Jake Peavy started this game, went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits, a walk and 5 strikeouts. Then perfect spotless innings from Santiago and Reed has now left the game to Matt Thornton, who's having trouble with the strike zone.
And there's a strike. 3-1 to count. Ate him up on the bag, double play.
They couldn't ask for anything better than that. It'll go L3 unassisted double play. Catch it right on the bag. And Hannigan is hung out to dry.
Here's Paul Yanish.
Let's go, Matty.
Zach Cozart was 0 for 3 today. Yeah, on that play right there, there's nothing you can do when you're being held on. First base coach has told you don't get doubled up. Don't get doubled up on a line drive.
Yeah, but in the meantime, the ball's behind you and you're taking one step.
And it's not a line drive.
No, you're taking one step. You think maybe it can get over his head, but it can't. Well, okay, I'll head back.
There's the strike. And another one. Nope. So the second walk. There's Joey Votto. 2 for 3 today. Just tuning in. Sox 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the sixth, and 6 in the seventh.
Come on, man.
2-0. Cincinnati with runs 2 in the second and 2 in the third. That evens it up.
Here we go, Matty, right there. Same way, Matt.
And a little tardy on that one. In that Tuesday game, our last game coming your way right here for Comcast Sportsnet from
Let's go, Matty.
spring
right
training.
Here we go.
Chris Sale will be on the mound.
Well, he's had a very good spring. It looks like the conversion from a bullpensman to a starter has been very smooth.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Votto. Stayed with it long enough just to get the barrel on it.
Votto's one of the best hitters in the National League and most likely as good a hitter as there is in baseball. A lot of guys would have bailed out completely on this. He's able to keep his hands right there, even though there was a little give in his front side, and just slap that breaking ball the opposite way. Not a lot of guys in the National League like to face him.
So here's Peapod. Willie takes a strike.
Is he a good player when he was here?
Yeah, for what he was asked to do, he did a pretty good job. And there's a solid base hit. So that walk is going to come around to score, and it's 11-5. Out of Hayhira, Georgia. That'll bring up Ryan Ludwig. Ryan has a 2-run single back in the third inning. There's a good strike. Come on, Matt. Outfield around to the right, gap out there in left center. Adelanto started, went 5 2/3, gave up 5 runs, 7 hits.
And was victimized by the elements today.
He certainly was. Twice. 2 hitters. Thank goodness. Ate him up right there. Sucked up by Morrison. Over to Jackson, and that'll do it. With a little wildness right there, something that's really unusual for Matt Thornton. And we're into the 8th, leading 11-5. And get Chicago Sports News Nightly on Sportsnet Central, presented by AT CIN UVerse. Coming up tonight at 6:30, a complete wrap-up from this game, plus highlights and post-game reaction from Bulls and Thunder. So join Pat and Mark for our Sportsnet Central, presented by AT CIN UVerse tonight at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. And since this is going to be our last game here in Arizona, I want to thank Brianna Burke, who's a stage manager and does such a wonderful job, and she's been with us now for quite a few years.
And she followed us to Goodyear.
Yes, she did. She is a joy. Sox on top, 11-5. First pitch strike to Olmedo. He started off that 6-run 7th with a double, coming with 1 out. Two and 1 to count. Three and 1. It's sharply back to the middle. Giannis.
Nice play by Paul Giannis, who's got a big arm at shortstop. This ball taken right back through the middle. Giannis does a 360 and throws it right on the money.
Here's Tyler. He's been in the plate twice. He's 1 for 2, a double and a run scored. Eleven 14-0 for our Sox, 5-9-0 for their Reds.
Good straight change by Gallagher.
Well, it looked like it had some good movement on it.
Yep. And he had Tyler looking fastball or something hard, certainly.
Willie Harris cannot get there, so that is a broken bat. Matabatacola single.
Tyler is awfully strong, so he can take that fastball right in on his hands shatter the bat and still muscle it into right field. He's left with just the handle.
So here's Jackson. Connor's been to the plate one time and he walked and scored.
Sometimes you're able to get away with mistake pitches. That was a high slider that normally winds up a line drive in the outfield. That time Jackson fouled it straight back. So Flowers' day is done. Looks like Jared is pinch running again.
We don't have his number listed on our sheet. Grant Buckner. Attaboy, Connor. So Buckner will make the turn as they get it back in. One out, runners at the corners. And here's Escobar. He singled and scored last inning. Jacks it up and takes strike one. Flips that one and is trying to come back. It will, but it's caught. So that is out number 2. You know, we had a third baseman when I was with Cleveland that got sick, and I can't remember exactly what he had. I was just looking at Connor Jackson with the Valley Fever, but his name was Max Alvis.
I remember him very well.
Before he got sick, he was a definite 25 to 30 type home run hitter. And after he got sick,
didn't he have some sort of intestinal
I can't remember exactly what it was.
Might have been colitis, because I was there, remember at the time, and he was a very good player with a bright future.
Oh, he was a good looking player, a great guy too, just a great teammate. And poor thing, he lost his strength. You know, he just never got it back. That's about the only one I can remember that. I remember Ray Fosse when he was hit by Pete Rose in the All-Star game. Ray was one of the best looking offensive catchers yet since Johnny Bench. And once Pete hit him, Pete buried his left shoulder into Ray's upper left shoulder. And there was a knot or something that formed in there that he never had the same kind of stroke after that. That's what it was. Max had spinal meningitis. There's a little flipper. Jimenez knocks in Buckner, and it is 12-5.
Well, Johnny Bench told me that he said, you look at my numbers before I was 25 years old, and then look after I had the surgery. They thought he had lung cancer. And at that point, they made a huge cut from the back to the front. They took out the lower lobe of his lung. They opened it up and found out that it was valley fever. It was a fungal infection. It wasn't cancer. But he said they cut so much muscle. He goes, obviously I was a good player afterwards. He goes, but never the same.
Yeah, he told me the same thing. Yeah. He said after they cut on me, he said there were some nerves involved in it as well.
And, you know, he was a guy probably that was going to hit 40 home runs every year of his career. He still turned out to be a Hall of Famer, but never quite the same.
Lillibridge had a big 2-run single last inning. Well, Max Alvis also was indirectly was the cause of me breaking my leg and dislocating my ankle. First of all, it was Raleigh Fingers. He had me 0-2 and then screwed around and walked me. Then Max hit a ground ball to Bando down there in Mesa. And I decided I wasn't going to slide. By that time, it was too late. It was pow, pow. Two and two. Jared Mitchell on deck. Good rip. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. One in, 2 on, 2 out. Pretty quick breaking ball right there. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 7. Want to be a part of the team? We'll join the White Sox Kids Club. Members conceive and will receive cool items like ticket coupons, a mini Southpaw bobblehead, a Kids Club t-shirt, and much more. Visit WhiteSox.com to join the club today.
Zach Stewart is the new Sox pitcher as the Sox try to nail down the last 6 outs with a big lead here. First man he's going to look at is Wilson Valdez.
First week or 10 days I was here, I was looking all over for Zach. Say hello. I couldn't find him. But I was looking for that big head of hair he had.
Looking for the hair guy.
Yeah.
Now he's a short hair guy.
Valdez been to the plate one time and bounced back to the pitcher. Chops that over into the Cincinnati dugout. Another one of the nice complexes out here in Arizona. How long do you think it'll take before almost everybody is here?
Well, I'd like to think that this is the best place to play, certainly, but I don't think Florida's given up what they have, especially building some of the new complexes down there. There's a lot of money generated by the 15 teams that come to both places.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but when you're talking about maybe our longest road trip here being about 18 miles, when you're talking down in Florida, you get 3.5, 4-hour road trips.
No doubt. Much better here, much more consistent weather here.
I think in the next 30 years you'll have almost everybody here. Makes a huge difference when you don't have to spend 8 hours a day on a bus.
You can get in a whole lot of work.
Oh, you got a cookie right there and missed it.
Zach throws, looked like a slider up in his eyes. It didn't do much. He just fouled it straight back.
"12-5 good guys here in the bottom of the 8th if you're just tuning in. Ball gets through the wickets. So Valdez in the second. Full count. And there's a solid base hit. Nicey. With his first hit, Valdez is held. The runners at the corners, nobody out. And that'll bring up Vidal. Vidal has one plate appearance. He went out to center field, cannot check it up, and the count 0-1. Close, didn't get it. There goes the runner. And the count 2-1. Way back when, Jake Peavy started for us, went 4 innings, giving up 4 runs on 7 hits, 1 walk, had 5 strikeouts. Matt Latos went for them, 5 2/3, 5 runs, 7 hits. 1 walk, had 4 strikeouts. Jake had a little control issue. Not so much with the base on balls, but just getting behind in the count. Couldn't hit his spots.
No, and then you get wild in the strike zone, which is equally as devastating, and sometimes more so than just being plain wild.
And a full count.
Let's go, Zach.
Ryan Hannigan on deck. And that'll load him up.
Here comes Don Cooper out to have a word with Stewart, who is struggling along here in the 8th inning.
Ryan Hannigan will stand in.
All you can use here, and Stewart has a good enough sinker where you got to catch her up, get the ground ball, give up the run, and get the 2.
If you want to get real greedy, a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Not even close.
Now, right now, he's having trouble with a moving plate. Boy, things are getting tough around here.
Stay with it. Stay with it.
Wind will bring it back.
Yep. And that's out number 1. Ball was fouled over the Cincinnati dugout and came right back. Just
message.
An announcement.
Good message. They got to make an announcement. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, and they have only 1 more game left to play here, and I don't think it's the Reds who play.
Oh, well, Cleveland shares this complex like the Dodgers do with ours. They just made an announcement that sodas in the press room are not complimentary.
No, the Hall of Famer Marty Brenneman came in.
That was funny.
Did not eat anything. Went to get a soda, and the lady said, "I'm sorry, sir, but you didn't. You have to pay $7." He goes, $7 for a soda? She said, "Yeah, well, it comes with lunch." He goes, "But I'm not eating the lunch." He said, "I know, but those are the new rules."
You can't get a drink unless you eat the lunch.
He goes, "I'm not giving you $7 for a soda."
Yeah, Cairo in the right field. Jared Mitchell. He'll get it back in. Valdez scores. It's 12-6. Yeah, that was funny.
So I told the Hall of Famer, "You got to give up some of that money." I said, "They don't have any pockets in the box." I said, "Give the young lady $7." And he stormed out of the lunchroom.
So here's Janish. And that's trouble. Softly hit. but it's going to get the job done. As it scores now, it's going to score 2.
Our vision was blocked down there, but it appears there was some problems in left field. It scored a pair, so now it's a 12-8 game. Yanis gets a fastball, gets it off the end of the bat, hits it in the perfect spot.
So here's Gregorius. Didi Gregorius. And the count 2-0. Morrison's got it. Over to Jackson. That'll retire the side, but a 3-spot crosses the plate. It is 12-8 White Sox. And Tuesday spring training winds down as our Southsiders take the field at Minute Maid Park for a battle with the Astros. White Sox Astros Tuesday night at 7, only on your home for White Sox baseball, Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. We finally reached the 9th inning. 12-17-0 for our guys, 8-12-0 for their guys.
I think truly it's Mike Leary's fault, because in any of the games that we did before he got here, we were long out of here by now.
Yeah, 220, 230.
I know.
Jerry Mitchell. Been on the plate one time and hit the first pitch he saw, a bullet right back through the middle for a base hit. Here's another bullet right back through the middle for a base hit.
Well, he doesn't wait long, but when he does get the bat on the ball, it rockets through the infield. It's a fastball. Did the same thing to Gallagher last time up in the 7th inning.
Here's Morrison. Jared also at LSU when he was there, along with teammate Chad Jones, became the first 2 student athletes to win a BCS national title and a College World Series title.
It's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Very impressive. Ball gets away. So Jared into second.
Goes E1. Well deserved in the 9th inning of a spring training game, 4 runs down.
Trace Thompson on deck. Now he looks, goes to third and throws that one away. So Jared will get up. He will score on another E1.
Gallagher's having a good inning. Fielder's choice. No RBI, as you would expect. Again, spring training, 4 runs down. Going to get the lead man on the play when you're heading toward first base. Not going to endear you to your manager.
So here's Trace. He's 0 for 2 today. He's just checking out. Baseball America's best tools in our White Sox organization. Jared Mitchell was voted the best athlete. Big hack. Other guys, best hitter for average, Tyler Kuhn. Best power hitter, Trace Thompson. Fastest base runner, Keenan Walker. Best fastball, Jeff Soptic. Ball hit hard, right to the third baseman. Crowd number 1. Best defensive outfielder, Jordan Danks. Best outfield arm, Jose Martinez. Son of Carlos, former Sox player. Best slider, Addison Reed.
That's going to bode well for this year.
Ray Olmedo has doubles and grounded out to short. Oh, and 2 the count. Outfield, straight up, spread out, about equidistant. And Willie comes in. Harris makes the catch for out number 2.
Broken bat, sinking line drive. Harris battling the sun. Takes it off the grass.
So 2 down. And Morrison, who has a base hit. It's a breaking ball strike. second for the force. And the third out. But we pick up an unearned run, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth, leading 13-8. It's the bottom of the ninth inning. 13 runs on 18 hits, no errors for our Sox. 8 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors for their Reds, as Willie Harris will lead it off. Willie's been to the plate twice. Is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Olmedo very quickly out. Nice play. Nice pick by Connor Jackson. On both ends.
This looked like a perfect bunt, but Jimenez jumps on it quickly. And Connor Jackson on the long hop picks it at first base. So a quick out. That'll help out Zach Stewart.
And here's Ryan Ludwig. Deep into right center field. And out of here.
Surprised we haven't seen more of that, but if you get it up in the air to right center, it's tough to stay in the ballpark.
So his second homer of the spring. And it's 13-9.
9 runs batted in, 2 today, and a towering home run to right center field.
In case you did not hear, Sox have gotten down to their 25 active list. Nice pick. 2 down. So that'll bring up Heisey. Nate Jones did make the club.
That's great.
Big arm.
And big arm, and he had a very good spring. You know, it's nice when positions like that are not predetermined. You can actually come down, have a good spring, and show somebody that you can do it.
Well, we got here, Harrison, I got here on March 1st, and Robin on March 2nd told me, he says, I don't know what was done in the past, but he says, we're going to leave with the 25 best guys we have.
Which is the way you should do it when you're trying to win something. Bobby Thigpen told me early that he was very impressed with Nate Jones. And that impression apparently continued throughout the spring, because when you start the season with 3 rookies in your pen, you get a lot of confidence in their arms and their ability to compete at this level.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's all an approach. And he said the same thing about Addison Reed. He said he is ready to close. He said this kid can do it. And of course, again, we've seen Bobby when he went out there with us. He didn't have anything yet. He picked up the save. He'd get those last 3 outs.
Tough to do. That is tough to do.
Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's full. So in Zach's 2 innings of work, he's thrown a lot of pitches. And that ball hit deep into center field.
Well, that was crushed.
And Heisey makes it a 13-10 game. Again, you can't keep going 2-0, 3-1, 3-2. Especially after a guy has seen you once before.
Heisey had 18 home runs last year in limited duty, and he shows you that he's got plenty of power.
This is the 39th pitch here in 2 innings, and that's a strike. Vidal is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And there's the base hit. Well, as we've been talking about in our previous telecasts, it's going to be fun to watch this club play. The attitude is going to be different. And it's going to be fun to watch them.
Well, it's probably going to be more essential this year than most years to get off to a pretty good start. Because there is a team in the division that's awfully good, and that's Detroit. You take a look up and down, look at their bullpen, look at their rotation.
It's a good ball club. There's no question. Good
solid team.
This will do it here if he doesn't lose it in the sun. He's got it. And this ball game is over. So a long, arduous spring training game. Our last game coming your way over Comcast Sportsnet from spring training. And today, as you mentioned before the first pitch was thrown, it's going to be a tough day to pitch.
It was a tough day to pitch if you didn't keep the ball down. And Jake didn't have the best day, but Santiago and Reed threw the ball very well. And at the end, the all's well ends well, and we got one more on Comcast for spring training, and then the bell will ring.
That will be Tuesday night from Minute Maid Park in Houston. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, the Leprechaun. Nice to have him back with us, Mike Leary. Our associate producer, Josh Weingrad. Our technical manager, the Allergy Kid, Mark Harper. And